The biggest fight Misfits Boxing can make. And yes, I say just Misfits Boxing, not influencer boxing, because as we all know, the biggest fight influencer boxing can probably make right now is the KSI versus Jake Paul fight. However, we all know the fight most likely isn't going down, especially not anytime soon. So therefore, I say the biggest fight Misfits can put on, because we all know Jake isn't going to go to Misfits, but that matchup would be KSI taking on the undefeated Hitman in Slim, which I believe is a pretty close second. Of course, y'all let me know in the comments down below if this is a fight you are interested in seeing next for KSI. He does appear like he wants to make a comeback, and he doesn't want to leave out and go out on a loss. So is this the next big thing, or do you not care for this fight and just want to see him fight Jake? But for the time being, this seems like the most realistic matchup they can make. So let's talk about it a little bit. It is very clear to me that this is a fight that Slim definitely wants. I understand before a lot of people said Slim was ducking the big fights, ducking guys like Salt Poppy when he was constantly asked about that fight, but he gave us the fight we wanted and he delivered. So he did back up what he had been saying all along. So this leads me to believe that he really does want this KSI fight, and should KSI start to entertain a little bit, it just might actually happen. And especially if all of you are very interested in this fight as well. Because as we all know, these influencer boxers, they're mostly built on entertainment. The only way KSI is going to fight Slim is if you guys give it enough traction or are super hyped for this type of fight. Because KSI isn't just going to go out there and fight anybody. Just like Gib has, pushed away the Slim fight for a very, very long time, just saying Slim doesn't have enough clout, doesn't have enough traction. Well, now in the Misfits boxing space, Slim definitely does now, or at least I believe so. So if you guys are interested in this fight, I'm sure KSI will be willing to get this one done. But like I said, Slim has been hyping this up big time. As you can see from here, a Twitter page posted a crossover boxing fantasy matchup between KSI and Slim. And Slim retweets it saying, "Slim by devastating KO. Jumping jacks don't work on me." Of course, mocking that karate type style that KSI chooses to fight with. But what I will say is it will be interesting to see if KSI's next fight, if he decides to do this, is for him to maybe start out with that little karate thing and then switch it up and go back to a traditional boxing stance, or do the reverse, start out in the traditional boxing stance and then either midway through rounds or sometime just switch it up just to change up your timing and your rhythm a little bit, and it confuses your opponent, and it's almost like fighting two completely different fighters in one fight. I said this before, and I thought he should have done it for the Tommy Fury fight leading up to that fight. I said it would be a good idea, and instead he stayed in that karate stance, and we all saw what happened. But like I said, I just think it would be a good idea to switch it up a little bit. And then Slim goes even further with his Hitman Promotions posting a poster with Slim versus KSI, who wins. Slim retweets it saying, "KSI called me a bitch for quote unquote ducking Salt Poppy. Let's see if he's a bitch for ducking me not just once, but 2 times. Damn. So yeah, Slim is serious about calling KSI out. He is really serious. He is now claiming KSI is a bitch if he does not fight him. This is very, very smart from Slim, because number one, not only does it hype up the fight a little bit because he's talking a little bit of shit, but also, it backs KSI into a little bit of a corner to where even if he doesn't want to come back to boxing, it's got to hurt him a little bit. It's got to piss him off a little bit. It's definitely going to want him to come back if he doesn't. And if he does want to come back, he's definitely going to want to be the one to take Slim's head for saying these types of things, backing him into that corner. Because as we all know, KSI did call Slim a bitch, and then Slim did what KSI was calling him a bitch for doing, which was fighting Salt Poppy. So now the shoe is on the other foot. Let's see if KSI takes the bait. And a few of these comments, of course, Slim from Brooklyn, similar to your boy, a few of these comments are going to have him tight. So someone says, "Slim says this every time, then does this when he sees KSI in person." You can see they dapping each other up. And Slim replies back with, "I like KSI as an entertainer. KSI as a boxer, I don't rate at all, honestly. That's all it is, competition." And he does have a point. This is where people, in the influencer boxing space don't really understand the entertainment. You know what I mean? You got to promote a fight. You could talk a little bit of shit, go back and forth, as they say in UK, you can banter a little bit. But, as a fighter or as an entertainer, you know what I mean? The respect will always be there. This is why, you'll see guys in big beefs leading up to a fight. And then after they fight, they shake hands, they hug it out, they do, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Because the respect is still there. At the end of the day, you may not respect them as a person or you may not respect them as a fighter, but you will still respect them in some sort of way. And you'll see it among guys who absolutely hate each other, even KSI and Jake Paul. You can't argue, yeah, these guys definitely hate each other without a doubt, but they still complement each other in certain ways when it comes to their careers. So there is somewhat of a mutual respect there. They just don't like each other personally, which is very, very common, especially in combat sports. And of course, the man who absolutely knows nothing about boxing whatsoever but chimes in and is always the biggest instigator. He's probably the Ariel Helwani of influencer boxing. We got Keemstar saying that he's got KSI, to which Slim replies, "Remember, Keem, every guy you picked to beat me since 2019 literally got knocked out viciously." I don't even know why people, take anything Keemstar says seriously, whether his predictions or whatever the hell. The guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Every time he's on the mic, he always says dumb shit. There'll be two guys staring at each other, no action happening, and this guy will say, "This is a war." Like, he doesn't know what he's looking at. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So I don't know why anyone even, gives what he says or his predictions any type of merit. But if you ask me for my opinion on this fight, I would probably pick KSI to win, just purely based on the fact that he's too big for Slim. I think Slim had the right idea in that he was going to go down a little bit, but now he finds himself still consistently fighting at those much higher weights. And from the past, we have seen Slim tire out. We even saw it in the Saul Poppy fight. At one point in the fight, Slim even putting his hands on his knees. So I just think if KSI comes with the right game plan, he can tire Slim out, wear him down, and eventually win. I'm not sure if he'll be able to knock Slim out, but, win decisively via decision, in my opinion. But here's the great thing with that matchup, because at this point, who freaking knows? This is the second time now Slim has pulled off a crazy upset where nobody thought he had a chance in winning. I mean, of course I did, because I predicted him to beat Salt Poppy when everyone doubted me. But hey, not to toot my own horn. Anyways, if KSI and Slim were to face off, I don't expect that many people to really think Slim would win. I think a lot more people would think he has a shot at winning now, especially after his performance against Salt Poppy. But still, I expect KSI to be the heavy favorite. And my prediction, honestly, would probably be to pick KSI to win. But like I've said many times before, who doesn't love a good underdog story? So, hey, I wouldn't be mad if Slim pulled off the crazy wild upset and spoiled the comeback party of KSI. That's why I think this is the biggest fight Misfits can possibly put on. This is definitely a type of fight that I would get excited for, and I hope for most of you, you would feel the same also. But that's going to be all I got for y'all today. As always, thank you all so much for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.